My happy place right now, Adam, is just envisioning Vladdy running through the Rogers Center screaming, "This is my house."
Next one comes in from YouTube. Cap Anson says, banning the shift is like a solution for something that isn't a problem. Just hit it where people aren't. Scott, what are your thoughts on this? Is it that simple? Why doesn't it happen?
I love this comment. Obviously, it's not that simple. Hitting the baseball is one of the hardest things to do in all of sport. This gets talked about all the time. You watch any sort of pitching ninja on YouTube with the overlays, and my God, it's amazing that anyone ever hits a baseball. Like some of the filth that some of these top pitchers throw, it is just so difficult to put the bat on the ball, let alone guide it to where you want, right? That said, we have talked about this a lot here on the walk-off about I'm not a fan of them banning the shift. I think that there is no reason to ban the shift. I agree with Cap Anson. This was not a problem to begin with. And now they're legislating guys like Joey Gallo into being good players. I personally would have rather seen them force guys to make adjustments, and if you can't, well, then maybe you shouldn't be playing the game. But that's not the case. They want more offense. They're going with bigger bases. They're going to have a pitch clock. They're speeding things up, and banning the shift is just one of the new rules they're going to do. But I was reading an article the other day that was talking about, I think it was on MLB.com, talking about the shift ban, and that the guy writing it, I should have written down who wrote it, but basically the sentiment was fans are going to be surprised with how little this actually changes the game. If you look at the way the rule goes, you can still have guys right up on second base. You can still almost shift. It's just not going to be quite as pronounced. So I think there is still going to be a lot of shifting guys within a game happening, just not to the level that we're used to seeing. We're not going to see the Toronto Blue Jays with 4 outfielders. We're not going to see John Schneider move the entire infield to the right-hand side against lefties. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but according to this article, it's probably not going to be quite the big deal everyone's making it out to be.
Well, it either needs to be the big deal everybody's making it out to be, or they're going to tweak the rule the following year.
Yes.
That's where I would land on this. Like, I don't think they're making a rule change like this, or I guess some implementation of a rule like this, so that nothing can change. Like, they want results, right? They want more balls in play.
I think the big change, Adam, is going to be we're going to watch fielders make some incredible plays. We're going to watch guys on the run making throws. Roberto Alomar-esque. I don't know, you might be a little too young, but Roberto Alomar was my favorite to watch. Go the other way towards third base, make that stabbing catch, jump in the air, twist his body, and throw to first. I think we're going to see more of those athletic plays with the shift being banned.
Roberto Alomar is canceled, Scott, so tread lightly.
Sorry, not allowed to bring his name up.
That's all right. Man, YouTube's going to take us down for that.
It should be enough that I took his picture off the wall.
There you go. You took it down from the Ring of Honor behind you. Appreciate it.
This was originally on my wall, and I did my part and took it down, all right?
You did your part. Yes, you did your part. Replace it with an A-Rod jersey or something like that. You know, a real,
somebody good for baseball.
Yeah, a good clean character, you know. Why couldn't he have just bet on the game? Right. Anyways,
couldn't he have been our Pete Rose?
Banning the shift. Yeah, we need to see results from it. And I think this is a tough one for me, man. If we don't see results from it.
And by results, you mean an increase in offense. Is that what you're...
No, I don't. I just mean an increase in
more
action.
excitement in the game.
An
Right.
increase in action. Yeah. Like a guy taking 2 side steps to his right and fielding a ball cleanly is not necessarily action to me. You know, like what you described, right? Like a guy that
Right.
has to full sprint, lay out, dive for a ball. Like I don't really care if it's a base hit through a gap or it's a diving catch and they get the guy out. Like I would rather see highlight reel defense than boring singles all day. Can I be honest about
I'm with
that?
you, man. If Matt Chapman has taught me anything, it's how much I love incredible plays at the hot corner. Like, my
Yeah.
goodness. It's just so much fun to watch him run in on a softly hit ball and on the run make a play. It is so fun to watch guys in the outfield lay out to catch a ball. Something that you don't see as much these days because analytics have shown you where you should be lined up. And so the MLB's goal here is just like you said to create more action. So it will be interesting to see if it works.
It is I think a misnomer, the idea of baseball needs to increase offense in the game, right? Because I think it's like it's bad in the way global warming was a bad term for it,
Yes.
right? Because it's like climate change is a more accurate description of the problem. Um, it is not just simply a warmer planet is the problem and whatever, right? Like obviously more hurricanes. We just had one out there on the East Coast. You know, these like massive storms that are devastating, happening with more frequency. It's terrible. More offense. Like if just the solution is higher scoring games, it doesn't necessarily mean or equate to a better product, right? Like would I
Mm-hmm.
rather watch a pitching duel where it is, you know, a 3-2 at the end of the game versus whatever the Blue Jays did to the Red Sox back in August?
Yes.
As hilarious as that wasn't necessarily a good game. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I keep going back and forth on this, but let's
Well, here's the thing. The chat's going crazy here, so I did wish to bring up some stuff. Scott Carter says Tony used to do that a lot. Tony Fernandez, my goodness, he was the king of going the other way and twisting his body to make a phenomenal play to get the runner at first. Um, Taco Time says Roberto liked the Pune canceled, so I will just leave it at that. Yeah, it should be interesting to see how things work out with these rule changes. It could be like MLB is so good at making rule changes without truly analyzing how it's going to affect the game, and then the Tampa Bay Rays take those rule changes and make them even more dominant because they somehow managed to see something within that rule change that everyone else missed. So,
yeah, absolutely correct. All right, well, we'll see what happens. This won't be the last tweak to the shift. I just want to touch on that last point about just hit it where the people aren't. Not that simple. When you've been playing baseball a certain way, you've developed a swing since you were 5 years old that got you that far. It got you that far, right? So your swing is working,
mm-hmm.
right? So it's not just as simple as putting it the other way, right? Like millions of dollars are on the line at this point. This is why banning the shift is, I think, and like you said, it probably isn't even going to make that big of a difference, but I think the only solution in this, like you can't force a player to do a chip shot the other way, right? Like you can't force that. I don't know how you would. Like I it hurts my brain to think about how you can for sure encourage it. You could give incentives, but unless those are like mega financial incentives, you know, the incentive for Joey Gallo to ground out 400 times and hit 35 home runs is millions of dollars more than having an extra 20 points on his batting average. So
Very
I
true.
don't know. All right, let's move on from there. This
Yes.
one, short comment, made me laugh. Marcus G.
Actually, you know what? Before you get into that one, Adam,
Okay.
I do want to really touchly. My God, I need more coffee. Quickly touch on Scott Carter's comment going back to the Ross Stripling, Jose Barrios. And basically he says, I think if Strip pitches after Manoah, it is also a very different look for the other team. Not sure if that really matters, but it is something. And that is actually such a good point when it comes to giving the opposing batting lineup a different look, right? Manoah is a bit of a bulldog. He relies on his fastball and his slider away. Strip, much more so a pinpoint accuracy guy, using 4 pitches, moving the ball up and down and left to right. So it is a different look, and that may be something that the Blue Jays organization takes into account. Now you can go ahead, Adam. I think you have hit mute, and now nobody can hear you.
How about this?
Oh, there you go. When you're talking into the mic, it's a whole different
Hey,
world,
that's a big difference. Sorry, I had a dog scratching at my door that wanted in, so I'm sure he's going to hop up on my chest here in a second. Okay, next one. This quick one made me laugh. Kyle Schwarber is literally just the pre-falling off the cliff version of Chris Davis with 40 home runs and a sub 800 OPS.
His OPS is below 800.
Yeah, I think it was in the 7s. He's got a batting average of like 210. Because we were talking about Kyle Schwarber being a sneaky pick for MVP in the NL.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked at his batting average and everything else and quickly stopped that line of talk.
Wow, that surprises me about his OPS. The guy just hits bombs, and that's about it, eh? Wow. I mean, 40 bombs, that's pretty valuable.
He's a more effective Joey Gallo, I guess. Right?
There you go.
Let's just quickly look here. Oh, no, I lie. His OPS is currently 801, so he must have hit a double the other day.
He's creeped up above there. Still, that's surprising. Normally, when you have a guy who's hitting those sort of bombs, the OPS is always in the 800s.
Batting average 214. There you go.